Hello, this is Dr. Mark Miravalle, Professor of Theology and Mariology from the Franciscan University of Steubenville in Steubenville, Ohio. I am here in Ireland with Anne, the lay apostle, and we will be speaking about the spiritual movement of the lay apostles of Jesus Christ, the returning King. It is important to keep in mind that all the messages that Anne has received have been released with the permission of the local bishop, Bishop Leo O'Reilly from the Diocese of Kilmore, Ireland, and have been submitted to the Vatican Congregation for the Doctrine of Faith for examination. Each and every dimension of this apostolate is completed in submission and in obedience to the local bishop and to the magisterium of the Catholic Church. And there's a lot of discussion about the divine will. What is the divine will? How do you seek the divine will? Well, Jesus in this October 8th, 2004 message again reminds us that that's got to be our focal point, is seeking the divine will. So let me read that message and then we could talk about it. The message of October 8th, 2004, Jesus says, and I quote, "Little servants, seek only the divine will. On each day, I want you to consider what I require from you. This means you will often find yourself realigning your activities to fit into my needs. Your time must be fruitful for the kingdom, and for that to occur, you must always ask me what I would like you to do with your time. You see that I wish there to be constant communication between us. This may seem like a burden to you at first, but you will quickly become comfortable with unity to heaven. If heaven is to flow through you into the world, and that is the goal, you must let heaven direct everything. You know that we in heaven are willing to do that for you. We know that you are striving to allow heaven to direct you. How often we have asked you to practice. You are coming along, little apostles, and you are witnessing the way it is to be, with your serving and me directing. Move forward daily, always forward in my service, and you will see souls returning. I am with you in everything." And so, again, this union of heart becomes the foundation of any activity for a true lay apostle. Tell us about it.
Well, the divine will, seek only the divine will. And so what the Lord is actually asking, He has set us up for in the earlier volumes. And it's kind of culminating in volume 10. And instructions for volume 10, it's like a repeat, a reminder. He wants us throughout the day. He says, at first this may seem like a burden to you. Because what you're doing is you're going through your day and you're checking yourself all day long. Well, would the Lord want this? Would the Lord want this? And He's asked us in the other one to practice this. Remember, I am the early volume. I am with you. Okay, that's the kindergarten thing. Jesus is with me. And then I have a plan for each day. Jesus has a plan. I want you to embrace my plan for each day. So this is kind of the reminders of those things. I see the divine will as this beautiful stream of light, that is, heaven is so omnipresent. I mean, if that's a word, it's everywhere. Sure. And we are with heaven, united to heaven, if we are in this place of the divine will in our souls. The Lord can do whatever. We want to be like chess pieces. That Jesus can move with any whimsy He has. Right. So He's asking us for this. And when we move through our days this way, and it is doable, this can be done with very little effort. The effort will come from heaven. Right. We have the desire, the Lord will provide the way. Right. Great things happen when we do this, and we get up with a plan and we go to bed and we look back and we see that some of it worked out the way we expected and much of it was unexpected. Right. So it's actually a foretaste of heaven to serve in this way.
Yeah, it sounds so much like different elements of Christian life where God provides tremendous graces, but we also have to cooperate. And when He says, you must always ask me what I would like you to do with your time. Right. Constant communication. He's almost saying, with this burden concept, you're going to have to work at this. You're going to have to start acquiring the virtue, the good habit of several times of the day saying, Jesus, how do you wish me to serve you
Right,
now?
right.
How do you wish me to serve you now?
Right.
Well, at first, like any exercise, it's burdensome at the beginning. Then it becomes, like St. Thomas Aquinas says, it enters with a facility, an easiness. You know, the difference between a little kid playing his first piano recital and a concert pianist who's looking away from the keys. It's going to be tough at the beginning to keep communicating to our Lord, to keep our antenna up to get the word, and then a certain facility, an easiness seems to enter
right,
in.
right. A naturalness, something you can't do without. It's like this. If you listen, you have to listen. In the earlier volumes, he says, silence, be quiet. And if you're very quiet, you can start to hear this beating of the Sacred Heart, this rhythmic beating constantly in your day. And then when you become used to the silence in your soul and this presence of the Lord, of this beating of the Lord's heart, that's all you hear. And nothing else really makes sense. And if you pull away from this rhythmic beating, you get lonesome, you get anxious, you get frightened, and you'll see those symptoms immediately. You'll run back to Christ.
Right.
And then you'll get back into the rhythm of the beating of the Sacred Heart. Once you learn to move through your days accompanied by that rhythmic beating of the Lord's Sacred Heart, you really find yourself freezing when you lose it.
So now tell me more about this light of the divine will. Someone comes off the street and says, Anne, I hear a lot about the divine will. How do you best explain the divine will? You started talking about a beautiful concept and image and even experience of that. Expand that for us if you could.
Well, if you look at heaven, this place of the divine will is heaven, the heavenly kingdom. We're all connected to it. There's no separations. We might have our backs to it. And then if we turn to face it, we look up at God. God looks back at us. There's a beautiful gaze that goes between us. And that is the stream of light that is the divine will. So we just want to make sure we're looking to God, we're looking to Jesus, and we will always find that He is looking back. And then as we become used to, and you have to constantly turn the face back to the gaze. And the enemy, of course, is going like this.
Right.
And you have to do that maybe 1,000 times in a day sometimes. You keep returning to the Lord, to the God, the Father's gaze. And that is how I see that stream of the divine will, always nourished and sustained by the stream. Always the discernment, the wisdom, the wherewithal will come from this. There's a lot more to it that I see. I mean, I see it as a place that we are all welcomed in.
And the best way to realign ourselves when our face has been turned away, whether it's the world, the flesh, the devil, how do we get realigned to the divine will?
An act of our will. Jesus, I need you. Lord, I seek you. This is why those beautiful ejaculation prayers are so important, all day long. Jesus, I trust in you. Mother Mary, save me, help me, protect me. Angels of heaven, direct my path. And, all of those things all day long. A little sentence like that will put you right back into memory, and to get that you are working for heaven.
Yeah. It's almost like the great mystical writings of Teresa and John and Catherine of Siena. A spousal relationship, when your spouse is in the room, they're always there. Even if they're not talking to you, the presence of the spouse is there. And it seems like the more we can do that with Jesus, that this communication is going, that's what's going to feed us in our service. So we're talking about divine will, realigning when we have to, keeping our face to the stream so that Jesus can sustain us in the task of lay apostleship. Yeah, great stuff. Thank you, Anne.